Well, hello, everybody. Good Saturday afternoon. Cecil Pearson Jr. coming at you here live on YouTube. Going to give you a little farm update on what's going on and what we've got planned and Lord, now I got the hiccups. And what we're trying to do. Well, sir, let's start that hee-haw music. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. I'm also going to do a product endorsement, not for money, but because I really like it and I like to share good things with y'all. Hello, Miss Martha, Thomas, Grim, Living Water, Tony, Monster, and the Gangster. I hope y'all enjoying your Saturday. Anybody else's forehead ever just start itching? Or is it just bald feller's forehead? Because it's missing the hair. I don't know. Oh, Garrett, Isaac. Hey, sometime I'll reach up and rub my head just out of habit, I reckon. And when I rub it, it'll feel so good, I'll just start scrubbing on it that way. Yeah. Oh! Like, no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes you a little stupid for a minute. Now, somebody told me I don't know where it's at now. There's one of them. Nope. There that is. Yeah, I ain't got a clue as to where it's at now. But somebody told me to get one of them things what you slide down over your head that way. And it's got little wires that wrap all the way around your head, up top and down the sides at the same time. And it's just do like that on your head, and that you'd really enjoy it. Nope. Well, I do, but it brings about the wrong kind of feeling. well, I reckon that's as many as we're going to get. First off, the product endorsement. Now, again, not getting paid for this. I love it. I found it. I order it. I eat it because it's wonderful. Shoo, wonderful. If you like greens, turnip greens, mustard greens, collard greens, if you like beans like pinto beans, cranberry beans, great northern beans, and you have cornbread with all that stuff, everything there, got to have some cornbread. If you got some of that, you need to find you some of this Texas Pete pepper sauce. This stuff, just a couple of shaky, and mix it into your greens. It gives so much flavor. This is a little bottle. You see these little peppers. These little sport peppers. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to eat one of these peppers, make sure you take a pine top with you when you go at the bathroom, because you're going to need it to beat the fire out off of your hind end. I'm just telling you now. But this is vinegar based, and it is just so good. Oh, black-eyed peas with the soup, with that pot liquor on it, with some rice and some cornbread on the side with some butter and a deca. Mixy. Woo, buddy. It'll make your tongue slap your brains out. It's that good. The juice is a little spicy, but it ain't I'm going to burn your tongue off. It's, hey, I'm here. I'm warm. How you doing today? That kind of thing. Oh, it is good on taters. Yes, sir. Especially the ones that you fry up in a pan with some chunks of onion in it and just cover them and let them cook and then turn them over and cover them and let them cook. And just, my daddy used to call them Texas taters. Woo, that is real good on them. Mm-hmm. Hey, Indian Creek. But this stuff must be a Georgia thing, because the only place I can find it is Amazon. And it's $7 a bottle, but one bottle will probably last me 4 or 5 months. And I'm the only one that eats it. But it's really, really good. I enjoy it. But that's enough about the Texas Pete. Yeehaw! So what we're doing here is, well, one, we've changed the name of the farm from Crazy Quail to Blessed Harvest Farms. That's what I wanted to call it to begin with, and I just didn't. I don't know why, but I just felt like the Lord was moving on me to put the name to what He originally gave me, which was Blessed Harvest Farms. So that's what we've gone back to. Now, The quail are about to be laying their eggs, and we're going to get started growing more quail. I've got a greenhouse that we're going to get put up, and I'm going to be, I don't know if you know what propagating means, but it means taking one and making a whole bunch of others. Basically breeding, but it's for plants. And I'm going to show y'all what I got. Y'all look at these pretty babies. Look at that beautiful aloe plant right there. Now, with what I know, my knowledge and know-how, I'm going to take each one of these leaves, and this is going to make me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more aloe plants that'll look like this in about 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 9, but they'll look like this. They'll start to grow like this. Now I've got 5 of these. Some are a little smaller than the other, but nonetheless, I got them. I don't know if you know what this is, but this is a succulent, and each one of these leaves represents me a new plant like this. And I'm going to be propagating 2 plants just like this. I'm also going to be propagating these beautiful turban cactuses. These are very nice cacti. Very nice. Don't touch this end. It's got pokey bits. Hmm. And I've got this guy here that I'm going to be propagating. But I got to wait. I got to repot this and wait for the little pups to start growing around it. Brother Cecil, what in the name of God are you going to do with all those cactus? Well, I'm going to grow them. If somebody needs an aloe plant, I have aloe plants. Take them up to the farmer's market in town. Make money on them. But I know most everybody knows that aloe vera gel out of the plant is one of the best things you can put on a 1st degree and less, like sunburn type burn. You don't put that on 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Don't do it. Sylvadine from a doctor. You don't put butter, lard, turpentine on 2nd and 3rd degree burns. You go see a doctor. But for sunburns, even scrapes, aloe vera is good for scrapes, all the way up to first degree burns. You can use aloe vera. Aloe vera can also be used to make hydrating and skin rejuvenating face mask. Lots of girls like that. See, I don't think there's much help with this face. I think God looked at that and went, whew, he's done. Hmm? No, it didn't stop. But one of the other things that we're going to be doing here, and while I've been saving just a little bit of money here and there to get me, well, not me, but to get us a few more chickens. Now, I don't know if you guys keep up with the news or if you don't like watching the news because it's too depressing. I get that. But a news story has come up. And if it weren't so many in such a short span of time, it wouldn't have really piqued my interest. But I have prayed about it, and God told me exactly how many to get. And I said, well, God, I'm going to need a chicken coop. I can't, I don't have the know how. To build a little chicken coop. I just, I ain't got sense enough. I'm a nurse, not a mechanic. I'm a mechanic too, but I'm a nurse, not a carpenter. Jesus was the carpenter. I'm not the carpenter. So I've been checking around, and I have found a whole bunch of chicken coops with the runs on them that are big enough for 8 or 9 chickens. That's all I'm supposed to get. Not supposed to get as many as I had before. just 8 or 9. Now, some folks may say, Brother Cecil, that's a lot of eggs. It is a lot of eggs. But here in this little area we live in, we're overrun with poor folks. Folks that simply cannot afford to go buy eggs. They can't stand it. They can't afford it. So it is my hopes that you guys will be able to help me get a chicken coop by March that'll be big enough for the 9 chickens, where I can help feed my little community right here some farm fresh eggs. I'll buy the cartons that they go in, and I'll pay for the feed for the chickens, and pay for the chickens and the waters and the feeders, and do all the upkeep and all that stuff. Me and Gail will handle all that. But that's something that I'm actually going to have to ask for some help with, because these chicken coops, they're around $500-600. They're high, and that's for the cheap one. The big nice ones, my God, I'm in the wrong business, folks, and y'all are too. You ought to be in the business of making chicken coops. One chicken coop that'll hold 15 chickens is $1,000. $1,000. It ain't cost no $1,000 to make that chicken coop. They might have $200 worth of material in it, and they're charging $1,500 for a chicken coop. But anyway, I ain't gonna get off on that tangent. I just ain't. But I will be from time to time asking if people can donate to help with the chicken coop. And if you do donate through the ministry for the chicken coop, make certain that you write in the memo, if you send a money order or check, in the memo for chicken coop. Or if you send it through PayPal or Facebook, you put in there for chicken coop. That will be held aside and not used to help with other things. It'll be used just for the chicken coop. Yeah, those work, but you got to have a place for them to lay. And where we're at, you got to have a place for them to be able to get out of the heat and to be able to get out of the weather, because we get some awful weather around here. Shoo! The sun come out yesterday and shined it real beautiful. So beautiful that me and one guy we were sitting there talking at the Walmart, and I looked at him and I went, boy, howdy, it's beautiful out there today, ain't it? And he said, seemed to me like uh, God replaced the batteries in the Energizer and finally turned the light on. I woke up and went outside trying to find what was on fire, because we've been so dismal and dark around here lately. Like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you need headlights. But it is just beautiful out there today. Right now it's, what is it? 3:25. Ooh, y'all give me just 1 minute. Gil. 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 Hang on a minute, fellas. Let me see if I can do this. Should be in a minute. I'm cooking ribs, making mostaccioli, or baked ziti, garlic bread, and barbecued ribs for supper. They tried to fall off in the grill, and I had to grab them. So I've got melted rib rub all over my hand.
What is it that you need assistance with?
I need something to. I was turning them over and I almost dropped one. So
you caught it quickly.
I did.
It was hot.
Oh, it was real hot. But I mean, like, put it down hot. But I didn't. I put it back where it went. But I need something to wipe my hands on, please. I didn't want to touch that curtain going through the door and get this all over it. What did you do?
Well, it said, come quick, please. So I wasn't paying attention to where my limbs were as I was getting up off the floor. And I don't know what I put my knee on, but it was a couple of them, and it was round and rolly.
Ouch!
Yeah. Okay. Step 1. Wipe off excess crap.
Yeah.
Step 2. Don't fall out of chair.
I'm going to choke to death. Johnny, thank you. What? Well, just lay it down. It'll be a minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna clean things up. So if you hear loud noises, it's fine.
But we're hoping. Sorry about that, guys. Got to take that Sudafed. But we're hoping by the end of summer, going into fall, when things really get tight on people anyway, that we'll be able to produce between 15 and 20 dozen eggs a week to be able to help the community with it. And no, if somebody wants to, if the people getting the eggs want to give a donation, they can give a donation. But we're not going to be charging for the eggs. We're going to be giving them away. But that's with that. Now, also, I've got a rear tine tiller out there. It's about as shape as I'm in. I really do need, but I can't just go buy one. I really do need a small one-row tractor with the implements just so I can handle it myself. But we're going to be using the one-row tiller that I've got this year. And we're going to put out some tomatoes. And we're going to put out some cucumbers. And a few other things, maybe some yellow squash. Some bell peppers. Stuff like that. We're going to put some of that out there because I've got an 1.5 acre field out here that I can tend. When I bought this place, the field didn't come with it, and the house was only like $35,000 with a 1/2 acre of land that it's on. But I told him I wanted that 1.5 acre field that was there beside us, and he said, "Okay, for that, I'm going to have to take it up to $76,000." I said, "Well, that's fine. Go ahead." See, I don't mind telling you what I paid for this place. This is a $76,000 piece of property. The house, I think the county's got valued at maybe $8,000. It ain't that nice of a house. It's got a nice ceiling, but it ain't that nice of a house. I wish the whole house looked like the ceiling did. But you know what? It keeps us warm. And that's what matters. But this produce that we're going to be growing out here, some of it will be for us to eat. And then I'm going to provide fresh produce to the local area here where we live for absolutely nothing. Because I'm tired of seeing these old people. They're old, folks, I'm 56, about to be 57 in March. Okay, I'm a month away from being 57. March the 9th, I'll be 57 years old. And I've got folks here that's dirt old. They in their 80s and 90s, and I'm tired of seeing these people have to live on absolutely nothing, not being able to go to the grocery store and get fresh vegetables because they can't afford it on what little bit of Social Security they get. So we're going to grow it, and I'm going to give it. And it's going to come not from Cecil Pearson, but it's going to come from Blessed Harvest Farms, which is sponsored by my church. It's sponsored by God and by my church. It's not for me to make money or to make profit on. It's to feed people. That's my goal, is just to be able to help folks eat so they don't have to starve. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that's too much of a Christian to do, especially when God puts a burden on them like He's put on me to feed the hungry. I have had that burden since I was small, since I was a little boy, like 5 years old. My granddaddy used to grow. Here we go, story time. My granddaddy used to grow purple hull peas, black-eyed peas, butter beans, forward hook lima beans. He grew tomatoes, squash, okra. He grew carrots and potatoes. And he would take me out in the field with him. I was his free help, see. But I wasn't free because I talked a lot and asked a lot of questions, which is how I now know how to do what he did. But my granddaddy taught me you gather all of your vegetables and you get them in the back of the truck. Now, some truckloads, because that's what he did for a living, some truckloads went to the Piggly Wiggly and the Winn-Dixie, which was there in Vidalia, that he sold to their warehouses, and then they would get sent out to local Piggly Wigglies all over the area, and everybody would eat my granddaddy John's fresh produce. I can't tell you how many bushel baskets of okra I picked of pods no bigger than that, because he didn't want no pod no bigger than that. How many tomatoes I picked and put in bushel baskets that's been carried off and sold through grocery stores. But I also can't tell you how many that we put on that truck and how many bushels of corn, sweet corn, that Silver Queen sweet corn and yellow field corn that we put on that truck and we've carried down through areas where people were starving, and they would have starved to death if it not had been for my granddaddy walking up and going, "Hey, y'all doing okay for food?" "No, sir, we ain't. We might have pour off right now. Come on out here in the truck. You like these purple hull peas?" "Oh, yes, sir." He said, "I ain't shelling them for you, but I've grown them and picked them and I brought them to you. Go get something that we can dump these in. I'll give them to you." They'd be right back out with a laundry basket, and we pour that laundry basket full of peas. "You like tomatoes?" "Oh, yeah, yes, sir. We like all this stuff." "All right, then go get me some containers. You can't have my baskets because they're expensive, but I'm going to give you some food to eat." And Granddaddy would hook them up, buddy, and we would carry pickup truckloads like this to town every single day, even on Sunday. And my granddaddy always taught me, he said, "I'm telling you now, boy, you feed folks who is hungry, and you always got a friend that you can go sit down with and just talk to." My granddaddy wasn't kidding. When he died, there must have been 5,000 people at his funeral. When they left Metter with his body, going all the way back to Collins to bury him, that was 30 miles. Folks, y'all better hear me. Weren't only but about 5 miles of road left, and everything else was funeral procession. There was thousands of cars. And when they gathered up out there at the funeral home, I mean at the cemetery, they were standing back and covered almost a football field, standing, watching my granddaddy go in the ground. We're often taught that the measure of a man is by what they have in these things. I'm here to tell you the measure of a man is how big his heart is. That's a flat fact. That's the true measure of a man, is how big his heart is and how much he loves. Because in the end, they don't nothing else matter. Sorry, I really love my granddaddy. But I will often say the most important thing that my granddaddy ever taught me was to care about the community that you lived in. And while I may not understand the world that we live in today, and I may long for the world that we used to live in, at my house, on these little 2 acres of land that we got here, we still serve God and we still try to serve our community in one way or another. Let's see. Tina, if you're still here, um, there's a link down in the description of all these videos. These lessons that I learned from my granddaddy, my grandma Ruth, and my little granny, and my mama, and my daddy, they've been passed on to my children and are now being passed on to my grandchildren. Just today, while we were at the Walmart, this old lady dropped something. John immediately bent over, picked it up, and put it back in her buggy for her. Never said boo to her, just picked it up and put it back in her buggy for her. And she went, "Oh, thank you, honey." He just nodded and smiled and went on about his business. That's the world I grew up in. And while it's not the world that we live in today, folks, make no mistake about it, it's not. Somebody's got to still be willing to try to do better in the communities, to teach folks how they ought to act and in the way that they should go, that maybe they won't depart from it. But that's the update on the farm. That's what's going on here. I love you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate all that you do. And I thank you for all of the love and prayer, the love and prayer and support. Prayer. Yeah. And I swear there ain't nobody rubbing my head. But I appreciate all the love and support and the prayers that you guys give me and my family. We really do appreciate every little thing that you do. we thank you. And the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'll see y'all again, maybe Monday. Love you. Bye now.